everybody. My name is Uduak with FashionEntLaw.com. I'm here with Natalie Cups, and Natalie is one of the attendees here at the Licensing International Expo. I had the good fortune of speaking with Natalie, and I thought she had so much wealth to share on social media, and very specifically how you can use social media to build your brands, whether you're a licensor, licensee, or none of the above. So we're going to speak with her today. I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome, Natalie. How are you?
Thank you. Glad to be here. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. It's been a fantastic show, so I'm so glad to be here. Share with us a little bit about your background. Tell folks watching who you are.
Sure, happily. Well, I'm the Vice President of Digital Marketing and Sales at Laced Interactive Agency. We're a strategic digital agency. We handle everything full service for brands, from strategy planning, creative, technology, deployment campaigns, everything except media placement.
Okay, and I happen to know based on doing my research before asking you to come on here for an interview that you are very, very good with viral marketing and you're very good with online media marketing. And I wanted to speak a little bit more. Let's start first with the functional use of Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Each one of them have their own distinct use. What are they? Explain to our audience.
Okay, so we'll start with Twitter.
Okay.
These are great questions. Most people think that Twitter is a one-way platform, so to speak, where I can put out my message out there. I use it, as a press release, or PR companies tend to just put messages out there onto the firm. This is a common mistake made for a lot of different brands. It can actually be used as a customer service channel, as an engagement channel, and otherwise. And the way that we do that is through third-party applications that connect to Twitter, like TweetDeck and Hootsuite and others that are out there. And what we do is, based on the relevance of the brand and what conversations they're looking to get in on, we find and tag those keywords that would happen in those conversations and see when people mention those in the worldwide Twitterverse. And when a conversation comes up of relevance to the brand, we can easily jump in there and introduce them to the brand or whatever brand promotion is going on. That's really the ideal way to use Twitter, because you can really start to use the immersive nature of social media, which is exactly what it was meant to do.
So then let's now transition into Facebook and LinkedIn. How do our audience use those specific social media platforms?
For brands, Facebook is great for building communities. It's a fantastic way to do that. So the main thing that you want to do is you look at it really as a television channel. You are a content creator, but more than that, you're trying to create something that's of relevance to your actual audience. So it's about doing polling, putting pictures, videos up of relevance, getting really interactive with your wall, and asking questions, answering questions to your users. And if you don't have a user base, well, that's okay. You start small. Twitter's a good place to start that, and then have URLs pushing people back to your Facebook community page. You can also use things like Facebook ads in conjunction with promotions or applications on Facebook as well, and using all those in conjunction to build that community. The rule of thumb with Facebook, though, is make sure that you're not just posting, but again, you're responding, liking other community pages, and also engaging in conversations there, so that people can say, oh, wow, that's an interesting comment. I'm going to go check out that brand page. And that's how we generate authenticity, relevancy.
Okay, and then LinkedIn, professionals, a lot of professionals on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Now, and I'm sure that the audience out there is going to, some are going to agree and disagree on this. So this is a very gray area. The debate has always been with LinkedIn. Is it a marketing tool or is it a networking tool? Well, it's a little of both.
What's the distinction?
Well, the distinction is, with marketing, we feel like, I'm trying to sell you some things, more or less, in kind of an advertising speak way, where networking is more of a professional connector. I'm really just looking, to connect with other people on potential business opportunities or jobs or whatnot. I think that people use LinkedIn for both of those uses today, and I really think at this juncture, it's too early to determine what LinkedIn will truly be. Just the fact that they're kind of, getting ready for IPO, and they've evolved and adapted so much with a lot of different third-party widgets, allowing SlideShare now, where you can visualize your slide presentations, Twitter plugins where you can also share what you're saying on Twitter to your LinkedIn profile. There's groups where you can comment in. So it's just evolving so much. So right now, I think, honestly, it's a combination of both a marketing and a networking and connection tool. I personally think that the thing that's going to differentiate it out for the future is the fact that it will be better suited to be more of a connection tool for professionals, for relationships. And as long as the conversations stay within that area, I think that they're going to, probably progress a lot faster. And it will retain the authenticity of what LinkedIn started as, which was a place for people to really, socialize about their professional careers.
Let's talk about YouTube. We've seen Justin Bieber and so many other young emerging brands, particularly on the music end, take off like that. So I know we were talking about this earlier during the conference about the whole idea of viral marketing and the whole tagging as it relates to YouTube. Let's talk about a campaign. A company is interested in running a campaign for whatever the product line is. How do you use YouTube as viral marketing beyond the other social media platforms in order to get your message out?
Well, I think you really have to look at it as a TV channel. Because that's essentially what it is on the web. Okay. And more than that, it's kind of transitioned from the web as well, because now we have lifestyle devices like iPads, and other tablet media, which is huge at CES this year. And YouTube plays on that as well. So, that's not the internet either. So if you look at it as, look, I have a TV channel, I am the broadcaster for this particular network, and I have to program content for it. As a brand, you're going to have the most success. And the same rules apply of anything. You have to know your audience, know your business objectives, and find that compromise so that you're not compromising the overall customer experience. But if you look at video as, okay, look, I'm trying to educate my audience on my brand. I really want my message out there, but at the same time, YouTube is video, and we like to watch video to be entertained.
Absolutely.
So, what you really need to do with YouTube is kind of approach it as edutainment, is what we like to refer to it as, which is a great way to kind of, get your message out there. And of course, there's a lot of, it's scalable because, you can make it as big or as small as you'd like.
Yes.
There's a lot of different room and flexibility for what kind of creative concepts you want to go with. YouTube provides all kinds of different options now today to do that. You can tag yourself or with keywords, to increase your SEO. You can make your video as high def and as professional as possible, or you can make it as raw as possible. I think that what really speaks to consumers and consumers are looking for is brands to be relevant, to be creative, and to be clever, and to really get it out there. And that's what really ultimately goes viral, so to speak.
So it's interesting that you say all of that, and I should sort of add that the whole licensing, since we're at a licensing international expo, it's interesting to see how YouTube is also having licensing over a lot of the films. You can now go and watch an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, however long, depending on what genre, what country, and watch as much movies as you want. Some free, some you pay. Let's talk about monetizing the web space, to the social media web space, which everyone is trying to figure out. How do you monetize this whole thing? How do you make money from this? Have you figured it out? Because we're all still trying to figure it out.
Well, if I figured it out, I'm not sure I would share.
No. Okay, that's true.
Just kidding.
That is true.
No. It's a constant debate, and that's what's so fun about being in this industry, is because it is a constant moving target. And it's constantly evolving. With Hulu, and Sony for a while, had Crackle, and now they've decided to kind of shut that down. I mean, it is just changing so fast with web content. So there's a variety of different ways that you can make money, and monetize that. You can do a subscription-based model. You can do an advertising-based model. There are some creative, other kind of, royalty type programs that are popping up depending on what it is. Hollywood is still kind of trying to figure it out as well, in addition to the VOD channels and whatnot. So it's evolving and it's changing, and really it's the wild, wild west, so to speak, which is great. And we really love that because it provides a lot of opportunity now if you're willing to take those risks and really get into that space and get the ins and outs.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about Hollywood since you mentioned Hollywood,
Sure.
and then I want you to then finish off with trends that you foresee in the social media space. So let's go back to Hollywood. I know you have knowledge of what's going on in that industry as a whole because you're on the pulse of what's going on there. So could you give us a general sense of the economy of Hollywood and how actors, actresses, or just people in the film professionals can benefit from social media space versus what they used to have to rely on in the past in order to be able to sustain themselves?
Sure, happy to do that. Yeah, our agency is headquartered in Redondo Beach, which is Los Angeles County, so you can't help but get away from Hollywood. In that respect, something that was talked about today at the licensing expo was the fact that the #1 growth area over the last couple of years has been celebrity endorsements and celebrity licensing deals for branding, and that's not a mistake that's happening, and it really was a testament to what's been going on in Hollywood over the last couple of years, where there have been less productions greenlit. There's really been a tighter vice onto trying to figure out these revolving models, so to speak, between the web and traditional distribution models. But as a result, there's been less jobs, so to speak, for writers, for actors, for directors, for producers trying to get their projects off the ground. So as a result of less productions being greenlit and actually financed, this artists out there in Hollywood and Los Angeles as a whole have to make their money somehow. And a great way to do that is to take your likeness and license that and co-brand it with other brands as appropriate. It's a great way to sustain your income, but also stay in touch with your consumer base, which is going to help drive that next project that you're going to be doing out there, whether it be with the studio or the network or whatnot. I know that the studios and networks are really taking a closer look at social media now as the pulse of, as far as casting decisions and even selecting directors and producers to see, are they engaged with the consumers? Do they have some sort of following of some sort? And from the flip side of that, artists can also take a much more engaged and ambitious approach to helping themselves as well, versus relying entirely on agents, which is what it kind of happened
used
in
to
the past.
be before. Absolutely.
Yeah. So they can really use social media to get in there and start connecting directly with their consumers. And a great example of that is Ashton Kutcher with Twitter. And we see tons of celebrities now on Twitter really doing a good job with that.
Absolutely. Well, let's wrap it up by asking, you project 5 years from now, what will we be talking about with respect to social media?
Ooh. She's putting me on the spot.
Big question.
Well, I would say, again, it's a moving target. It's a constantly evolving space. But that said, you can't get away from the fact that social has become mobile. So it's, kind of social mobile now. And mobile is a force to be reckoned with. And I think that as that saturation and that adaptation, happens continually for smartphones in the US and also in other areas of the world, that you're going to see more and more done on mobile devices, and the more richer those interfaces become. And I think that, mobile device will essentially be our mobile wallet, so to speak, and it'll kind of have all the branding and advertising and marketing opportunities on there, as well as being our lifestyle device, so to speak, versus mobile. I think social media is going to continue to evolve into all sorts of different channels, from physical to online to digital and else. I think augmenting something that's more consumer centric, where it's more of a usable device, where consumers that maybe have those privacy issues, that are working or whatever the case is, that don't want to miss out on those marketing opportunities to get those coupons, to get those discounts by location-based marketing, are going to have opportunities that aren't necessarily available today, since those privacy issues and settings and basically functionality is really still getting all sorted out. So I think it's an exciting space.
I think so too. I agree.
And the opportunities are limitless.
Well, you've heard from Ms. Kopp, and she's informed you on social media, the direction we're going. Hopefully it's been relevant and informative for you. This is Uduak signing off with FashionEntLaw.com.